Hello, and welcome to Midweek Mysteries with Sophie Ellen Buxton. In today's episode, we will be looking at the murder of Betty Haddon, often referred to as the Aberdeen Arm Mystery. On the 12th of December 1945, retired police officer Alexander King was walking along the old Tory foreshore looking for driftwood. He discovered the severed forearm of Betty Haddon, a find that started an investigation that ended 2 months later with a lot more questions than answers. Betty Haddon was a few days off her 18th birthday. A notorious party girl, she spent her time hopping between jobs and was known to visit a number of sailors, particularly scandalous for the time. On the night before her death, Betty visited a friend who ran a bed and breakfast. She wanted a room there, though none were available, so she left. Her friend described her as acting perfectly normal, with no indication that she might be in danger. This, however, would be the last sighting of her before her death. At 2 a.m. on the morning of her murder, screams were heard in a few locations around Torry. During their investigation, police had actresses recreate the screams. Due to the number of pubs that were popular with sailors, the screams were ignored. With no one looking out the window, the screams couldn't be confirmed to have been Betty's. During the investigation, police threw pigs' legs that were a similar shape and weight to Betty's arm into the ocean and rivers from different points to see where they would wash up. The closest to where Betty's arm was found was thrown from Torrey, near where one of the screams was heard. Forensics determined that the arm had been in the water for less than 24 hours. This, combined with the screams and the pig leg test, led police to believe the murder took place in Torrey. Every ship that was docked that evening was searched. Homes along the river were also searched, but many housewives were said to have vigorously cleaned to appear presentable in case they received a visit. It's possible that some evidence was inadvertently destroyed because of this. A few weeks after the discovery, a leg washed up along the same stretch of beach. Originally presumed to be Betty's, this was quickly dismissed. With the war recently over, many items and bodies remained in the water from sunken ships. Betty had been arrested for shoplifting, and had her fingerprints not been on file, her arm would likely have been passed off as part of a casualty from war. Police eventually concluded that the killer had to have been a local. Forensics determined that the marks on her bone were made by a saw or knife. This led police to speculate that Betty's body had either been completely chopped up and disposed in the ocean, or had been placed in a trunk, but her arm hadn't fit, so had been severed off and thrown away. There were no arrests and very few suspects. Betty had been seen out 2 days before her death on the arms of 2 sailors. But they were never identified, and the possibility of them having any involvement was dismissed when police said the killer was likely a local. This left one suspect. A single man who lived alone in an older Tory home. His house was placed under surveillance for a number of weeks following the murder. And he began sleeping with the lights on. Locals speculated this could have either been from guilt over the murder or because he had witnessed it and was paranoid. With a lack of evidence, he was never formally identified or arrested. In January 1946, the case ran dry. Her arm was used as a curiosity for medical students in Marshall College's Anatomy Museum. It was eventually disposed of when the museum moved to Forester Hill. With no one left living with any involvement in the case, and Betty's body still missing, the case will forever be a mystery.